Hi Novi, I'm Julie Farkas, Director of the Novi Public Library, and I am so excited to be sharing with you today that the Novi Public Library is open. Now we're in phase 4, and that means the grab and go phase. So I'm going to talk through a number of guidelines and information with you on this video so that we can share with you the expectations and some of the things that we're doing here at the library to provide safety to you and safety to our guests. So first off, we are limiting our visits to 30 minutes in the building. And as you walk in, you will get a timer. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Also, when you enter, if you are not feeling well, please don't come in. We're going to ask that you stay at home just a few more days and then try to come back to the library at another time. After that, we are requiring masks, and that is due to an executive order from our governor. So please, before you come into the building, grab your mask and put it on. And I'm going to show you that when you come into Novi's library, all of our staff will also have a mask on. And you can see this one right here with our little logo on it. So we will have masks as well. And if you don't see us in one of our cloth masks, you might see us in one of our face shields. So this is so that we can talk with people too who might have difficulties when it comes to speaking or hearing. And so we want to make sure that we're providing the best service to you. So these are two options that we will be providing, and we will be asking you to do the same and wear your mask when you come into the building as well. Now I'm going to go back over to some of these points because small groups, no more than 1 or 2 people, please, if you don't mind, we'd like to have coming into the building. And that's just so we can limit the amount of people that are coming in and we can monitor for safety. Members of the same household must remain 6 feet apart, but then we ask everyone also to practice that social distancing and stay 6 feet apart as well. And I've worn my little pin here today because all of our staff will have these on just to remind us as well and to be reminding you. No computers or copy service will be available at this time, and that's because of the quick grab and go service that we're providing. We can't imagine you being able to get much done in 30 minutes when it comes to computer time. I know by the time I log in and get settled, you've already used up a lot of time. So at this point, those won't be available, but be looking for our next phase for us to introduce this to all of you. After that, there is some priority seating in the building. You're going to be surprised, though, that there's not a lot of seating that we've made available. We want to make sure that we have that priority seating available to our seniors, those with disabilities or mobility issues, and those areas have been marked throughout the building. And if you look at the floor right now, there's even social distancing markings throughout the building that we've made it easier for you to follow, just so that you're reminded of that 6-foot distancing when you're in the building and enjoying it. Also, we still have 72 hours for quarantining of our materials. And let me take a moment right now to say thank you, Novi. When I sent out an email a few weeks ago, we had over 27,000 items we needed to get back. And guess what? You heard us and you responded well. We have almost all of those items back. They have been quarantined and they're now back on the shelves so that when you walk in for grab and go service, they will be available to you. And finally, some of our spaces in the building are closed off. Some of our meeting rooms and our tutor spaces. And the reason for that is so that we can social distance our staff and provide enough spacing to bring our staff back and work effectively, but also make sure that that space is available to them and keep that social distancing. Now, you hear that timer? Can you hear that sound? When you come into the building with your mask on, we are going to be handing out a timer to you that is set for 30 minutes. This is a reminder to you that we want you to enjoy the building, but be quick and grab and go your items that you want to check out from the library. So these timers will be given out to you. We have enough for 100 people to be walking into the building at one time, and this is based on some capacity regulations that we are following with our state. The next thing I want to talk about is some of the services unavailable. And we talked a little bit about computers. They won't be available right away, or our copy center, or our youth iPads at this time. So that's the technology that won't be available right away. Also, some of the study rooms and quiet rooms that we talked about will not be open. toys, puppets, manipulatives, and our kits will also not be available at this time. The reason for that is there are so many pieces and parts to these items that it takes a lot of time for quarantining and for cleaning. So we wanted to hold off at this time, just get you acclimated back into the building, give you some of the quick services you'll be looking for, but you'll be looking quickly for those items to be returning probably by phase 6, when we get to a reopen and back to what I hope will be a normal visit for you here at the library. So we're almost there. We're in phase 4 and just a couple more to go. And as the governor releases information to us and maybe pulls back on some of the guidelines that she currently has in place, we will be able to do the same. I also want to talk about meeting room rentals. They unfortunately won't be available right now either, and that's because we've used some of those rooms to do storage and to move some of our staff in order for them to have staff areas. And then book donations. You all have been wonderful about donating books to us in the past. In fact, our friends of the Novi Public Library, they count on you for those donations because they go into the book nook. At this time, we're not accepting donations, and that's because we just don't have the volunteers yet back to the building, nor do we have the capacity for quarantining the items that would be given to us. So no donations at this time. But here's some really good news. The Novi Cafe is opening, and they are opening with some very exciting new drinks that you will be able to enjoy. So you have 30 minutes to come in, walk up to the cafe counter, order your drink, enjoy, grab a book, and then head out the door. And you know we are proudly serving Starbucks coffee and Starbucks drinks, and they will be ready for you as you come in to the library. Also, the Friends of the Library are having their book nook available to you. So if you don't want to borrow a book, maybe you're going on vacation soon and you'd rather buy a paperback or something to take with you, the Friends of the Novi Library's book nook will be available to you during our grab and go of 30 minutes or less. At this time, I want to thank the Novi community. You all have been very patient, very flexible, and very supportive of the library staff, the library board, when it comes to us making the decisions and getting us ready to be opening the building back up. I truly appreciate all of the support that you have been giving to us, and I look forward to seeing you when you come back into our building. Please remember, bring your mask, be ready to see things just a little different, be ready for 30 minutes or less when you visit our building, and remember to practice social distancing. Thank you so much for your support, and we look forward to working with you. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable coming back to the building yet, don't worry. We have 2 services still available. In fact, they've become very popular over the last few weeks. You can use our drive up and our locker service by appointment and get the materials that are located on our shelves right here in the library. Don't worry, we want to get those materials to you as quickly as possible. And when you come in, some of the spaces, like our restrooms, have some social distancing requirements, have asking you to stagger you going in and using. There's some limits to that space. We've put as much signage out as we can to help you navigate your way through the building. I think you will be very pleased with what we've been able to provide so far, and we look forward to expanding those services over the next few weeks and through the summer so that we can get us back to full operation. Thanks so much for your support, Novi, and we look forward to seeing you walk through our doors.